This fall, we're launching a Kickstarter to raise funds to further the research and development for our machines so we can start to produce them and deliver them to customers. We're also going to be developing open source plans and tutorials for all of our machines so that anyone anywhere in the world can build these machines and share them with their communities.
I started riding bikes when I was pretty young. I think a lot of people do, and I just continued to really enjoy it. For me, it's a way of not only exercise, but feeling better about the world. Pedal power is a way of taking our own power and making useful work out of it. You can think of a bicycle as being transportation, so using your own power to move yourself. And what we're trying to do with pedal power is then take that and use that for other things, for electronics, for home use, for industrial use, to power your world. We started building these machines in response to our own need, and since then we've been asked to do it for friends, for a number of people on farms, breweries, homesteaders.
Creating your own energy gives you this understanding and this connection that you just can't get in any other way.
We'd love to have as much of a hands-on approach as possible to being part of our beer, and grinding the grain is just a really great way to start your morning. It's a high torque, low horsepower application. What you can do is produce plenty of throughput and be very comparable to the speed of a machine while not having to use electricity. And it's very similar to riding a bicycle, and maybe a little bit more challenging actually than people realize in terms of the amount of effort put into it. But you get to feel like you're bicycling, and at the same time you get to feel like you're producing something.
The core technology of bicycles is really only used for transportation and pleasure and entertainment. As humans living on this planet, we can use that same technology to perform any number of tasks that we do on a daily basis, and yet we don't. As a business opportunity, you have this technology which everybody understands and uses, and yet nobody applies it to anything but transportation.
For me, it's very important to consider the human scale. I know myself and a lot of people ask ourselves, what can we do every day to be able to help the environment or reduce our footprint on the environment? There's a lot of big thinkers who are trying to solve big problems, and I wanted to solve a human problem. Neither Steve nor I had seen anybody really think about the problem in this way. We just found that there was a niche of this idea that individuals can power up their own needs on a daily basis.
Our pedal-powered machine we use to grind grain for the chickens because the chickens can't eat the whole soy grain. We have it in there on a coarse setting. It's a really fun experience to go through and just sit there and pedal and watch the work be done. It's a lot of also keeping up with it, like making sure it's getting just the right amount of soy that's coming in and making sure that the beans aren't flying everywhere. It's easy to want to go too fast on it and then have grain just splattering everywhere. I definitely feel better using something that's powered by my own energy rather than coming off of the grid or coming from a gas pump. It definitely makes me feel different about my relationship to the work that I'm doing, and also makes me feel good that I can get some exercise and produce a valuable product.
Probably the most interesting application is outside of the developed world and in developing nations where you don't have a grid to plug into. Those are the places where suddenly electricity, which for us in the developed world is incredibly cheap and prevalent, is much more expensive and hard to come by. If you have a machine that's relatively inexpensive and ubiquitous like a bicycle, but it can produce electricity, small amounts to power cell phones or LED lights, suddenly you begin to have a potential for impact that can truly improve the quality of life. I would love to see pedal power machines in every coffee shop in every city in this country, so that people who are working on their laptops, working on their iPads, are at the same time generating their own power for those devices. I want to connect people to the energy they use. I want people to understand how precious energy is and how hard it is to come by.
We really want to see these machines out in the world and people using them. We just need more resources to be able to get them to people. Our goal is to make this technology available to as many people as possible, and we need your help to be able to spread the word, to be able to take our product to the next level.